Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is one specially made for you, and it's one where I talk about how I dealt with culture shock and depression as a graduate student in the US. Enjoy. This is the most experience my life as a PhD student. It's so good to have you guys back. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and thanks to my new subscribers. It's so good to see you all. So in this video, I don't really have something planned, but I'm just going to be rambling, just sharing some thoughts about what I think or my impressions about graduate school in general. So as most of you know by now, I am a PhD student, and I'm in my second year. Yeah, and just rounding off the first semester of my second year. So, I think what I'm going to talk about is how I dealt with depression in my first year, and how I'm recovering from this, and just how I lived through it basically. So, previously I was a Fulbright scholar at Yale University, and there I was able to develop families rather, in a sense of community. There was a vibrant Nigerian community over there, and I really enjoyed my time there with other Fulbrighters as well. Then I came to the university that I am presently in for PhD, and things changed. So there's something they call culture shock, which is that when you go to a new environment, you get a lot of shock. You have to readjust to the culture that you're in, and it just makes you feel depressed. It could be quite challenging, to say the least. And so the first time I came to the US, I did not really experience that because I was able to mingle with people, mingled with the community, and also my fellow Fulbrighters. So we're living in a big house, like there were 5 of us in there, and it was fun, so it was like I had this extension of a family at home, and then a family in the church as well. And then I came for my PhD and things changed. First, in terms of the weather, it is extremely hot in Florida, like extremely hot. Sometimes it goes as high as 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is crazy. Trust me, it's absolutely crazy. And when this happened, at first I was, it's a new environment. But then I noticed I just wasn't excited about the school. As I moved on, I'll notice, like in class, when people ask me, "Oh, how are you adjusting?" I'll be like, "Well, I have no choice." That was when I realized that I did not really enjoy the space. Then, in terms of family, community, I was unable to really find that here. And it took a toll on me because I am a family person. I am a family person. People who know me know that I love family. I love having people around me and stuff like that. So I had a lot to deal with, basically. And then this went on. The first semester, I almost broke down, but I kept pushing on. The second semester, was, I think, worse. But what happened was that while I was going through this experience, I said, I wouldn't want any other person to encounter something like this, because I felt that I did not have enough resources. I did not have the opportunity to relate with other African graduate students, right? And I just didn't have that sense of family. So as I said, depression hit me hard. I would cry. I would be like, "Oh my God, I need to go," blah, blah, blah. Well, eventually, but towards the end of the second semester, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm here for this, and I have to deal with it, right? One thing that I noticed during my first semester was that I hardly spoke in class. So the way it is here is that it's really important for students to participate in class, and that means speaking, talking, right? And I found that really hard to do because sometimes I wouldn't know how to just interrupt or interject. I was so self-conscious, trust me, conscious of myself, being like, oh my god, what am I going to say? Are they going to understand me and stuff like that? Like, I was so conscious. But what I noticed was that as I kept moving on and just living through these times, I began to realize that it was really important for me to just accept myself and deal with this reality that, hey, you're here, you have to deal with it. So first, I just made sure that I was comfortable with myself, comfortable with my name, comfortable with my accent as well. So one thing I did was, anywhere I went to, like, if someone asks me something, I just speak like, this is how I speak. And if you're like, oh, you can't hear me, I repeat myself with my accent. And apart from that, in terms of it, I tried as much as possible to relate with other African graduate students, like, sometimes visiting or just chatting and stuff. And eventually I was able to come with this idea that, okay, let's organize an orientation for incoming African graduate students, because it would be nice for them to interact with graduate students who have been here already, and that so that they won't encounter the kind of shock and the kind of problems that we faced. And it was an awesome event. It was when I'm really happy that we were able to pull it off. Like, people came with food, people came with drinks, people interacted and made friends, and that was just fulfilling for me. And just now, I think it also made me feel like, okay, although I had this problem, I've been able to deal with it, and also been able to create a platform where people that would that would not cause something like this to repeat itself, like to create a platform that would encourage people to be more interactive with others and to seek for help if they needed it. And that's one really important thing. As I round off this video, one really important thing for any international students or any African graduate students in the US, one really important thing to learn is that you have to deal with the changes, and you have to know the importance of community. It's important not to isolate yourself. It's important to acknowledge when you, or if you encounter depression, it's important to acknowledge it, that, hey, I'm dealing with this problem and I have to live with it. I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect, because we are not. And trust me, this place will make you realize that, hey, I'm not perfect, but getting here is a big deal, and I have to appreciate that fact. So I think that was one really helpful thing, that I'm going to see this PhD like, okay, this is my job now, like, this is my life now, and just enjoy the process. Right now, I won't say I'm there yet. In fact, sometimes I feel like I'm so scattered rather, in my schedule and stuff, but it is what it is. We keep moving and we have to keep improving. And when I look back and see some of the things that I achieved in terms of presenting papers at conferences, papers that are different, like just interesting ideas that I've had, and how this has helped me to interact with scholars that are interested in my work, and also to interact with people that could potentially publish my work. It's just reassured me that, hey, you're not doing bad, although you were depressed and stuff, but you fought and you are still fighting and you are overcoming, basically. So I'm just really grateful for this process, because I think it's really important to engage in this process of learning, engage in this process of understanding yourself, of seeing your flaws, of refining yourself, and of being a better person. Okay, so I'm going to end this. As I said, I had literally no plan at the beginning of this video, but I just wanted to share with you just how I was able to deal with depression and overcome it. Like, well, I'm still overcoming it, but just how I was able to deal with my life as an African grad student here in the US. Thank you so much. If you're still here, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you for sticking, and thank you for listening and watching this video. So stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing a video about a recent conference that I attended, which is the African Studies Association conference. It was in Boston, and I was able to catch up with some friends. We went to a food place. I'm going to show you guys, and yeah, I'm editing that video, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for sticking. Bye bye.